right, here we go. The most anticipated Real Kipper and Born Leaf Hour edition.
Why?
In our 4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
Well, we've come on after they won a playoff series. It was more anticipated than that?
Buddy, we're taking like callers coming in, not live.
No.
But they're leaving us messages.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we know from the messages is it can't be live.
No, because Sammy's already getting goofy ones.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not even going to say what, like.
Okay. We don't have to say it.
You've only given us one.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with the Leafs.
Well,
Right?
depends how you view the Leafs.
Okay, here's what I'll say. Today, I sat down on my couch at my usual time, poured my cup of coffee, and started to work away on the show, as I always do. And today was extra special because I spent an hour going through what must have been 200 messages on our answering machine about the Leafs. And I had some of the most fun I've had as a producer in a really long time. I love Leafs Nation. I love Leafs Nation, and the one thing I'll say is they're not going to make Morgan Riley a forward. They're not going to make Morgan Riley a forward.
Wow.
There must have been 10 Morgan Riley's got to be a forward calls on our text, our call line.
Really?
Still working on him as a defenseman.
He's not moving up. He's not playing wing. They're keeping him at D.
I mean, imagine how the problems that creates. All of a sudden, you got to fill and get a top line D.
And for like an okay winger?
Yeah, a guy who probably
Anyways.
doesn't forecheck anyway.
So it's not like my answering service where after like 10, it's like shuts everybody down and then you got to go and erase everything. Is that what you got to do now with these goofy
No,
messages?
It's unlimited, baby.
I can't remember the last time I wasn't offended by someone leaving a voicemail. So
You
Like
don't
on
have
your
to
phone?
hit
I don't-
7 to delete.
I haven't got a call on my answering machine on my phone that is not spam in literally 5 years.
Hold
No
on,
one calls me.
Just
No.
stick with me for the details. I'm a detail guy.
Okay.
So when someone leaves a new message, does it go to the front of the line or you got to go through all the messages to get to the next one?
It goes to the front of the line. But I went back from the start and listened through. I produced today.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not actually an answer machine. It's an automated
I
system that
can't
goes
wait.
into our. Okay.
I can't wait, and I'm sure all of you that's watching on Sportsnet 360, Sportsnet Plus, or listening on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, you guys can't wait either.
yeah. Well, and at least it's
On the
something
edge of your
else to
seat.
talk about other than last night's game.
Oh.
So, yeah, that happened too. So we'll talk about that.
All right. So I don't know. How did it go last night with your Bunkus show there?
See, you never ask me
Yeah.
about the show on Leafs Talk. And I was saying this to Borny. You never asked me.
I know. I'm asking you
Did
now.
you watch? Because I think it was our worst show of the year.
No, I
for
did
sure.
not watch.
Okay.
I did not
Did you
watch.
get a
but
text
I-
about something,
I
or-
subscribe and I see it. No, I'm just wondering, like,
Did
like-
someone tell you something?
no, nobody
or-
told me anything, but
What's going on here?
if you've got a vibe one way or another, I'd be interested in it because I watched that game last night and I just flush it,
That's funny. You rarely feel that way.
flush it.
Okay.
And the one thing I definitely do not buy is Jordan Stahl like schooled, Matthews, Marner, and Nyes.
No,
I don't buy that.
just
Who is this guy?
tip in.
What's going on?
I don't buy it. But
I've agreed with everything he said
anyways,
so far.
that's why I'm like, I'll throw it out
Okay.
there first. That's my general first impression topic coming from my end on a game last night. But I was just wondering about your vibe last night.
I think it's really hard, like them, to get up for every single game. And when you're doing a post-game show after they've won 5 in a row, I think it's really hard to just be like, God, these guys suck.
Right.
The season's meaningless. Like, it's just...
They lose one on the road to a good team
They're-
after 5
they're-
straight. It's like,
I did come away from... If there's one thing I did feel stupid about, it's us, being a little bit critical of the Carolina Hurricanes, where they just look like the Carolina Hurricanes.
But
They
no,
look,
they're like
they look like the exact same team that they've looked like for the last 4 or 5 years. to
that's
me.
fine. But
Which isn't
in
very-
between every other game for a month and a half, and I don't know, your buddy there,
Who? Nah, don't worry about it.
you got a few people coming at you that
That's my whole life.
but like they've been bad
Mhm.
every other game for a month, 6 weeks.
can't
And
find that level.
they have not looked like that consistently the last little while. So good on them. I mean, it lets you know that there's still some very good talent
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, I think
You're first in the league for a
it was a
reason.
loose
so.
game from the Leafs. I thought defensively, Yeah, mostly from forwards not having like a solid F3 and then D not having tight gaps. And all of a sudden there's too much room and it's a fast team. And all of a sudden Carolina looks like, the run and gun best Oilers teams of the 80s. So
I will say.
And also they didn't get the goaltending they typically get.
Everyone on that team outside of Brent Burns, Jordan Stahl, and Svechnikov, to me, looks like the exact same hockey player.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like the most analytic team by far, and like they're run by an analytic, and it's just
I think that perception's related.
It's a very analytical thing to me. Like, it's just like all these guys that played fast,
Pretty
similar,
good.
like really quick, pretty good, can score, shoot a ton. I don't know, it feels like analytics in a team to me.
All right, let's get Craig Berube's thought last night coming off a very disappointing 6-3 loss.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they made a good push, and we had breakdowns in our own zone. I thought that left the slot open too much tonight, didn't cover it. And then, I thought we just spent too much time in our zone in general going forward, especially in the second. I mean, we didn't kill more plays, come up with more pucks, and we didn't. Kind of got away from.
Kind of got away from us a little bit.
So -6 is a really hard thing
Yes.
to have.
Matthews, Marner.
Can I read this to you?
Yeah, please.
I think this is phenomenal.
Crazy.
Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews are the first Maple Leafs with -6 rating in a game since Daniel Marois and Mike Bullard on December 26, 1991 versus the Penguins. That game, I have some info on that game for you, which is really fun. The Leafs lost 12-1 to the Pittsburgh Penguins that night. Your boy Grant Fuhrer, Kipper, in net for all 12.
Wow.
.625 save percentage that night for Grant. Mario Lemieux had 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points. What else happened in that game? This is maybe the most incredible fact. Phil Bork, who we've had on this show before, fantastic Penguins analyst, was -1 in a 12-1 game.
I adore that stat.
That's pretty remarkable.
Imagine your team wins 12-1, you're taking your skates off -1 for the night.
Yeah. And on the other side of that, Mike Krushelnytsky, +1 in a 12-1 loss.
Also challenging.
So very impressive as
also
well.
tough to do.
So really good one there. But yeah, having these guys who had maybe their best game since Matthews has come back against the Flyers go ahead and have their worst game maybe ever.
I think that was the worst game of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I guess,
You thought they were really good against I thought they were really good against the Flyers, and then as bad as they've maybe ever been.
I just thought a lot, everything that could go wrong does go wrong sometimes. And sometimes, you're out there for an empty netter and one gets tipped in the high slot and, there's a...
Yeah, no, they weren't good last night.
They weren't good. I'm not going to say they're good. They're -6.
They weren't even good at the start. Up 2-0, and it did not have a feel like, okay, can they do... They can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Chris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin to Los Angeles Kings, possible deal with Toronto Maple Leafs. In an interesting twist in the NHL trade market, new rumors are emerging about Chris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin potentially being traded to the Los Angeles Kings. Sources indicate that the Kings, who have been one of the most active teams in recent weeks, are evaluating the possibility of bolstering their defense with Beauchemin, while Versteeg, who brings strong offensive capabilities, could be a key piece in a larger trade. This move becomes even more intriguing considering the Kings' surplus of offensive pieces available for trade, exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for to strengthen their roster. It's speculated that with Versteeg included in the deal, the Leafs could be targeting a possible addition like Wayne Simmons, along with a mid-range draft pick. This move makes sense given Simmons' struggles this season, as he has yet to find his top form on the ice. To add more drama to the trade talk, there are even whispers that veteran defenseman Tomas Kaberle could be included, opening the door for a potential pursuit of Braden Shen. If completed, this move could have a significant impact on reshaping the Leafs lines and adding more depth to the team. Stay tuned for updates to see if these trades come to fruition and how they might shape the future of Toronto and Los Angeles this season. In an interesting twist in the NHL trade market, new rumors are emerging about Chris Versteeg and Francois Beauchemin potentially being traded to the Los Angeles Kings. Sources indicate that the Kings, who have been one of the most active teams in recent weeks, are evaluating the possibility of bolstering their defense with Beauchemin, while Versteeg, who brings strong offensive capabilities, could be a key piece in a larger trade. This move becomes even more intriguing considering the Kings' surplus of offensive pieces available for trade, exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs are looking for to strengthen their roster. It's speculated that with Versteeg included in the deal, the Leafs could be targeting a possible addition like Wayne Simmons, along with a mid-range draft pick. This move makes sense given Simmons' struggles this season, as he has yet to find his top form on the ice. To add more drama to the trade talk, there are even whispers that veteran defenseman Tomas Kaberle could be included, opening the door for a potential pursuit of Brayden Schenn. If completed, this move could have a significant impact on reshaping the Leafs lines and adding more depth to the team. The Kings' situation is complex, as they are in the midst of a transitional period. Their aging roster, which includes a core group that led them to several successful playoff campaigns in the past, has seen some struggles in recent seasons. While there's a clear need for defensive help, Los Angeles may also want to improve their offensive consistency in order to make a deep playoff push. The combination of Boescheman's defensive reliability and Versteeg's offensive upside could help the Kings balance their lineup. From the Leafs' perspective, this potential deal is about retooling for the future. The team is in a position to compete, but they also need to solidify certain areas on the ice. Adding a player like Wayne Simmons could provide the grit and scoring touch that the team has been missing. Furthermore, acquiring a mid-range draft pick could help with future team-building efforts, as Toronto looks to remain competitive while still developing young talent. The inclusion of Kaberle in the trade package could be a strategic move for both teams. The veteran defenseman, who has been with the Leafs for a long time, has seen his role diminished in recent seasons. However, his experience and offensive abilities could be a valuable asset for Los Angeles, who could use a steady presence on the blue line to help their younger players develop. The talk surrounding Brayden Schenn's potential involvement in the deal adds an intriguing layer to the negotiations. Schenn, a versatile forward, has shown flashes of brilliance but has been inconsistent at times. If the Leafs are able to land him, it could be a great opportunity for both the player and the team to find success together. Schenn's physicality, two-way game, and leadership could be exactly what the Leafs need to bolster their forward group. While the trade market can be volatile and unpredictable, these rumors suggest that both the Kings and Leafs are preparing for significant changes. For Toronto, this could mark the beginning of a new era, with a focus on adding more experience and depth. For Los Angeles, the trade could be a chance to retool and address some of the weaknesses in their lineup, while still competing for a playoff spot this season. Of course, as with any trade rumors, it's important to remember that these discussions are fluid and can evolve quickly. There are many moving parts in these types of negotiations, and both teams will likely have to weigh their options carefully before making any final decisions. It's also possible that other teams could enter the fray, further complicating the situation. In the coming days, fans of both teams will be watching closely to see if any concrete moves are made. The NHL trade deadline is fast approaching, and teams are scrambling to position themselves for a successful postseason. Whether this rumored deal materializes or not, the possibility of a major trade between the Leafs and Kings will certainly keep fans on edge as the season continues to unfold. The trade talks involving Versteeg, Boescheman, and potentially Simmons or Schenn highlight the delicate balance that NHL teams must strike between immediate success and long-term growth. Both the Leafs and Kings are trying to find that balance, and this rumored